Hey guys, Jay here with Word of Advice TV, and if you're like me, you absolutely love squeaky floors. In fact, the squeakier, the better. I mean, what's there not to like about it? Every time you walk by, everybody will know where you're at in the house, and it's like musical floors as you're walking all over your house. But alas, my wife has finally had enough, and I do have to finally take care of this squeaky floor problem. So I started thinking about it. What is the easiest way I can fix this squeak without having to take anything apart? So I went downstairs, and I'm fortunate enough where my floors or my ceilings downstairs are not finished, so I can see the floor joists. And the way it works, right, you have the subfloor, basically a bunch of plywood on the floor that goes on the floor joists, which sits like a letter T. There's a bunch of floor joists, right? And the subfloor, or the floor, is nailed to the floor joist. And what happens is, many times, whoever was installing these floors, the nails that they put in, I really wish they used screws, but they don't. The nails that they put in, they miss the floor joist and it goes on the side of it. And with time, that nail backs out, and every time you step on that part of the floor, it makes that wonderful squeaky noise as that nail rubs on the side of that floor joist. In fact, let's go downstairs and just take a look at my floor joist so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So this right here is an example of a floor joist that is nailed in properly. As you can see, it's all clean. There's no nails sticking out. If we look at the other side, there's no nails there either. But if we look at the very next joist right next to it, not this one, let's go down one more, right there. You see all those nails? Even on this side too? Basically this whole entire floor joist, whoever was putting nails in, they completely missed this whole entire joist. And as you can see, there's nails right there that are sticking out through the floor joist, or right there, that can be rubbing on it. Those are usually the ones that are making the squeaky noises. So, long story short, I got a wonderful idea. Since it's the nail that's rubbing on that joist and making the squeaky noise, I was gonna just bend that nail away from that joist, and that will solve the problem, right? Or you could just simply take a piece of shim or some wood and just hammer it in between the nail and the joist. So I did that a couple times on a few of the nails, and unfortunately, that only worked once out of about 5 times. So, not very good fix. A bunch of the nails that I bent, that didn't do anything. The floor just kept squeaking exactly like it was squeaking. And since my clever methods were not working, I ended up doing some research and getting this squeak no more tool. And it actually works. I tried it on a couple of different spots on my floor before filming this video to make sure that it works before I show you it. And this thing is really awesome. So for finished floors, if you have carpet already, hardwood floor, vinyl, works on all that stuff, this thing works wonders. And I actually want to try to do it live on this super squeaky part of my floor and just show you how it works. So let's open up this kit and see what's inside. You got this little tripod looking thing that stabs into the carpet. You got a special drill adapter. This is if you have hardwood floors or vinyl, so I'm not going to need this since I have carpet. It comes with a set of screws. Now these aren't your regular type of screws. Let's just open the bag up and see. These screws have a weak point right here, right after the threads, where this screw head breaks off. And I'll show you why that is in a little bit. So there's a bunch of these screws. You got the finder screws. This is the joist finder screw. There only has a little bit of threads on the top here, and the rest of it is a smooth shaft. And this is to locate your joists, because if you have carpet, it's kind of hard to figure out where your joists are. And I won't bore you with the instructions, but it does come with a pretty detailed instruction packet that tells you step by step what you got to do and how to find the joists and screw them in and all of that stuff. So this is all I'm going to need. Other than that, you just need a drill, and a tape measure does help as well. So the first thing we got to do is locate the joist. On most houses, if your house, let's say, is a rectangle, your floor joists are going to be going on the short side. So, like this, basically, in the rectangular house. Or, you know, to make it simpler, joists will always go on the outside of your return grills or your vents or your registers on the floor or in the ceiling, wherever you have them. So, for example, here's my return. I will have 2 joists on either side of my return, which are typically 16 inches apart. So returns and vents, you know, all you have to do is track one down, and you know you're going to have a joist on either end of it. So if I take my tape measure and measure myself 16 inches. I get about this much space and this much space on either side of my return grill. So that basically means that I have a joist here and a joist here. And my squeak is right here. So it's not going to be this joist that I'm after, it's going to be this joist that I'm after. So if I measure 16 inches from right here, that means my floor joist that is causing me all those squeaking noises is going to be right over here. So if we measure our 16 inches, let's see, it'll be about right here, and I'm totally eyeballing it, but should be about right here is my floor joist. So I take my joist finder screw and I drive it in. And no, this does not ruin the carpet. After you take this screw out, you won't even know that it was there. And if you pull up and down on this screw, if it does not go back up, if it does not slide down or up, that means you did hit the floor joist. So I can take this out. And we know that we got a winner right here. So let's go ahead and drive a screw in it. This is where this part comes in, along with the adapter. This drill bit adapter is a special adapter with this nut on the bottom of it. So when you put the screw in, this adapter only goes down to a certain point and then it stops it right here. Basically the way it's designed is so that the screw only goes down to a certain length so that you can break the head off and it's completely under the carpet and a little bit under the subfloor. That way, if you step on it, it's not going to poke you in the foot. So let's just see how that works. We got our line right there. I'll put my tripod over it, slide the screw in, put my adapter in, and let's screw this fella in. You got to press down pretty hard on it to make sure it goes all the way in. Take the tripod out, and there you go. There's our screw. And just to make sure that I'm going to eliminate the squeak once and for all, I'm going to go ahead and put in a few screws in this area. We'll say 3 to make sure that the squeak goes away in the same exact way. There's screw number 2. And we'll put one more into here. Well guys, and the moment of truth, let's see if this actually works. Look at that, the squeak is completely annihilated. My wife is going to be overjoyed. In fact, she's actually filming me and she's actually smiling her head off, so she is very happy about that. So, squeak no more. But of course we're going to be tripping on these screw heads, right? So at first when I got this thing I was pretty disappointed. I was like, are you kidding me? This thing is plastic. How is it going to break the screw heads off without breaking the plastic part? But really, it doesn't take much for us. One of the tripod legs has this screw opening. You slide it onto the screw, and you just rock it back and forth. Really, you only have to go one way, and it breaks the screw head right off. And it breaks it off pretty deep in there, so you can't feel it at all. So you just go ahead and break off all the screw heads, like that, and then we'll get the last one. And that's it. Squeak fixed. Well guys, and that is how you remove a squeak in your floor. make your wife happy, make your kids happy, make the dog happy, everybody's happy. One concern I did have when doing this is that joist finder screw. You know, I was thinking, if I miss something, will I hit a pipe or a wire? And I did a little bit of digging, and by code, really, on the joist and the subfloor, right underneath the subfloor, there should be nothing there by code. No wires, no gas pipes, no water pipes. Does that mean that's always done that way? Definitely not. You could have something under there. So, you know, personally, I just didn't screw it in all the way. I screwed it in like, I don't know, maybe 1.5 inches. And you can kind of feel if you hit the joist or not. If you didn't hit it, the screw just goes in a lot easier. And of course, I was fortunate that my ceilings downstairs are opened up and I can see where everything is. In fact, let's go down there and take a look at my floor joist and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So all my pipes, the gas pipe, you know, the water pipes, all my wires, they're all mounted to the bottom of the floor joists, or at the very least towards the bottom of them if there's a hole open in them, or in the middle. But there should be, by code, there should be nothing towards the top or towards the subfloor. That should be completely clear. There should be nothing there. So in my case, I got lucky and I could see everything downstairs, so I knew for sure that I'm not going to hit anything. But if you have finished ceilings downstairs in your basement, then, you know, you just have to use that joist finder screw and hope for the best. The chances of you actually hitting something that you're not supposed to hit are very, very, very slim, but it is out there, so I just want to throw it out and make sure you're warned. Well guys, I hope you found this video useful. Make sure you share this video with anybody you know that has extremely squeaky floors. They're gonna love you forever. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to mash that like button on the way out. And if you have any squeaky floor stories, please share them in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. And if you're still here and not in the comment section below, so this one kid right here comes home looking like this, and his mom goes, "Oh my gosh, son, what happened to your face?" And he says, "Oh mom, not much, a wasp sat on it." And she's like, "What? And did it bite you?" He's like, "No, dad got to it first."